I'm about to fight one of BJJ's biggest haters since he's been talking so much smack about jiu-jitsu lately. Jesse Enkamp, aka the Karate Nerd, is one of YouTube's biggest martial artists, and he recently posted 2 viral controversial videos trying to expose sport BJJ as unrealistic.
Everyone thinks BJJ is the world's most effective martial art.
Today, I'm entering a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament to prove that it doesn't work.
So I thought it was only right that I dojo stormed Jesse to prove otherwise, in a series of 4 challenges, where first, we'll be on a hardwood floor, and we can both punch and kick. Second, on a mat, but I can only use my jiu-jitsu. Third, again on a mat, but we both have to use jiu-jitsu. And then finally, a mystery round. Although I've never tested my jiu-jitsu against an experienced striker, I do have my favorite submission up my sleeve, so let's see if I flew halfway across the world to get revenge, or just to prove him right. Either way, I'm gonna have a little chat with him afterwards.
I think the message is different.
I finally arrived in Stockholm after 20 grueling hours of travel, fueled by a ridiculous level of commitment to a mission that literally nobody requested, but I'll do whatever it takes. I'm headed over shortly to meet Jesse for the first time, who's a pretty dangerous guy. He also trains with his brother Oliver, a professional MMA fighter, but first I have to travel yet another hour by train to get there, but I'll stop at nothing. Standing outside of Jesse Enkamp's dojo. I don't know if he's in here yet. I came here really early. It's almost time to dojo storm.
Well, if it isn't Josh B.
How'd you know I was coming?
Dude, you literally posted online that you were gonna dojo storm me today.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Look, if I had a penny for every butthurt butt scooter that showed up at my doorstep, I would be—
Let me guess, you'd be a millionaire?
I was gonna say I would be able to afford a sign that says no guard pullers welcome.
Well, I'm here now.
I guess so. All right, come on in. Let's do this.
I entered Jesse's lair, which was way bigger than I imagined, with 2 floors hosting multiple training areas. He led me first into the karate practice floor, which didn't even have any mats.
All right, so before we fight, I would just like to show you what you're up against. Do you mind holding this?
Okay.
Just push it against the floor, right there. All right, that should be good. Watch your fingers.
What the fuck? But there's no striking in BJJ.
Well, we're not doing BJJ. This is karate. In fact, I brought you some gloves. All right, so since we're in Sweden, I got you these gloves that say Swedish Fighter, while I will be wearing the world's greatest karate glove from Seijin International. Link in the video description. 5 minutes warm-up.
I began warming up and immediately realized I would not want to risk going to the ground on such a hard surface. I thought maybe I could hold him against a wall, but then I realized they were covered in mirrors and I didn't want to risk glass breaking either. At this point, running wasn't an option, so I'd have to reach into my past and pull out some of my striking. We had 1 minute on the clock, and now it was time. I realized instantly that Jesse is a lot bigger than he looks in his videos, and even though his strikes were quick, he was hitting me a lot harder than I assumed he would, so I knew I'd have to keep up the intensity and protect myself. But my glove kept coming off, I hadn't sparred with striking in probably a couple years, and he kicked me in my injured finger, so I was doing everything I could to hold it together and block his strikes while getting in as many of my strikes as possible. Maybe I could still wrap him up in a bear hug and risk falling to the ground, but hindsight hindsight is 2020. My glove fell off again, but I was gonna keep pushing forward against Jesse's relentless barrage of strikes. He kept throwing side kicks, which I wasn't used to dealing with, but I started getting into the flow and feeling more comfortable throwing my own strikes. And just when time was about to run out, I accidentally hit him with a low blow.
That was a low blow.
Sorry. That was my plan the whole time, just to kick him in the nuts.
Dude, are you okay? Yeah, but that was not jiu-jitsu. That was like Thai boxing or something. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I used to do Muay Thai.
Why are you not using your Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
Well, I just didn't think it would be effective if we're not on a mat.
But we have mats.
Oh.
You know what? Follow me.
From a striking perspective, Jesse definitely won that round, and the fact that I didn't even want to use my jiu-jitsu definitely was not helping my case. But we still had 3 rounds to go. For the second 1-minute round, I would now use just my jiu-jitsu against Jesse's karate. And since we had mats now, I thought maybe this could work in my favor. Oh, I don't need this stuff. In jiu-jitsu, we don't need protection. No. We're on my turf. This is a slap bump.
I'm bowing.
My goal here was simple. I wanted to block Jesse's strikes and continue moving into him in order to crowd the space and try to wrap my arms around him to take him down. But he made this difficult by pushing me away, and then he started throwing knees. I tried to throw him with a sumigaeshi, but my timing was completely thrown off since I was thinking about his strikes. I had essentially pulled guard and was getting pummeled in the head, so I had to try to stand up. When out of nowhere, he hit me with an Asoto Gari. Little did I know, very similar to judo, this is actually part of the karate throwing techniques. I turned back to face him, but this just opened me up to a barrage of punches to the head, since I was using my hands to sweep him instead of blocking my face. Finally, I managed to get him down, but he sprung right back up as I shot in again to take him down, but ended up just in another body lock. His strikes were super distracting and making it difficult for me to set anything up. Finally, I decided to drop down for a double leg takedown, but he was doing a nice job sprawling, and he started to give the timeout signal since the round was over, but Oliver behind the camera didn't stop it, so I circled to the back and hit a Tani Itoshi to take him to the ground. Now that we were in my territory, I could take my time and pin him while I looked to isolate an arm so that I could submit him. But I pulled back and asked Oliver about the time.
How are we on time, Oliver?
I think you should keep going.
Huh?
I think you should keep going until
I'm
you get a submission. That's what BJJ is for. It's for tiring you out, and now he can submit you.
But this is just 1 minute!
Fighting doesn't have any time limits, real fighting. So I think this is great when you have like a time span, 1 minute. Your thing looks better, but this is the thing with BJJ, you wear people out and then you can submit them.
Yeah.
And this is what you did. You took a lot of beating now. Now you got him down, so now you should win.
I thought we were doing 1 minute, and you just keep going. Why? Because I'm dead!
Well, I think BJJ kind of takes a while sometimes, especially going up against a skilled fighter like you. I was eventually able to get you down to the ground.
Yeah.
But you did have some good strikes in there.
The thing is, those strikes, I'm gassing out. And that's why eventually you will take me down unless I have extremely good stamina. Which I don't, because I'm not a real fighter.
But you were also pulling some of your strikes. Some of those knees probably could have broke my ribs.
Yeah. But then again, I'm also bigger than you. So just the weight of my leg does more damage.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess the result of this one is inconclusive.
Yeah.
I think we should do some more then.
You know what? I would like to try jiu-jitsu against you.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it.
Since Josh is wearing a black uniform, I decided to wear a black one too, because apparently that's what you do in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, here we go.
This time we're actually slap bumping.
Okay, how does that work? 1, 2, that's it?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Ready?
Ready?
Jesse's pretending like he doesn't know anything about jiu-jitsu, but he actually managed to submit his opponent in his recent video where he entered a jiu-jitsu tournament to prove it doesn't work. So I knew I wasn't up against a complete newbie. I was running out of chances to win these rounds, and I didn't want to leave here without executing my favorite submission, but Jesse isn't going to make it easy on me. Even though I've done around 80 of these in competition, Jesse has extremely good balance, awareness of danger, and he's a lot bigger than me, so all of these factors were making it difficult for me to capture both of his legs so that I could set him down on a hip. Time was running out, and I tried my best to capture his secondary pant leg, and finally I managed to get him down on the ground. I pulled his hand off my lapel, cranked on the ankle, and got the tap.
So, I don't know if you knew this already, Jesse, but the ankle lock is my favorite move in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I even have a tattoo of one.
What? Is a lock on your ankle.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
This is why I came all the way to Stockholm, just so I could try to ankle lock Jesse.
You caught me. Look,
Great.
I was trying to be on top of you.
Yeah.
Because I know that would be my advantage as a bigger guy. Then I felt like this is getting boring. We're making some content here. It should be a little bit exciting, right? So I tried to go for something, and you immediately caught me with that ankle lock you had been working on for like a minute. And I didn't even realize it until it was too late.
Yeah. I actually got worried for a second because you started trying to choke me, and then I remembered back to your video.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I know. Yeah, but I didn't get it.
That was good. Luckily, we were able to accomplish something in a minute. I thought we were just going to be on the ground rolling around for a minute, but
yeah,
we both tried some stuff. I had fun.
Well, thank you for not killing me immediately. At least you gave me a minute playing with your food before you eat it, right?
It was actually very difficult. You're talking about size and weight. I think that's a huge advantage in jiu-jitsu. People underplay that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was, and with your martial arts background, you have such a good base and balance that it was hard to sweep you. Anytime I tried to move you, you would just stand upright.
But that's why karate has all these deep, stable stances. Because at least traditional karate is all about stability to generate power, right?
Right.
And some of that transfers also to the ground. Even though I don't know anything about the positions, I can apply the same principles.
Right, which is very clear in what we just saw.
Let me just cut you off right now, because now let's try to switch the roles. You do karate, and I do jiu-jitsu. Let's see how it goes.
All right.
Wait, I do the fist bump slap?
Not this time.
Okay, all right.
All right, you ready?
Okay.
I started off in a super wide karate stance, but Jesse immediately bulldozed his way in. But I wasn't going to let him take me down that easy. I sprawled, created distance, and held him while I threw some strikes at his head. But he immediately shot back in. He was relentless. I was not expecting to have to block so many shots. I decided to throw some side kicks like I think karate people do, and my spazziness kept him at bay, until he shot in again. I thought I was safe when suddenly he threw me with a sumi gaeshi, and right when I got up, he did it again.
I was seeing his videos. I know that's your favorite throw.
And then in a last-ditch attempt to submit me before the round was over, he fell back on an ankle lock.
Good job. It was so scary with those side kicks.
Yeah.
Because I want to take you down, but I don't want to get kicked in the face.
It's scary for me equally though, because I feel like with this bladed stance, I'm just giving you my leg.
Yeah.
Remind me that I need to get some karate training.
Wait. What is that? Wait, but you do BJJ. My bad.
I think for all martial arts, there's an appropriate context and usage, which was shown here. Now that we'd fought it out, I wanted to sit down and have a discussion with Jesse about his videos. So, I'm a huge fan, but I do have to ask you, why have you been giving jiu-jitsu so much shit lately?
Have I though? I mean, at the surface level, maybe it seems like that. And the reason is because I've discovered that a lot of people who are tribal, who like to belong to a specific subgroup, are very sensitive to certain topics, especially when it comes to criticism about what they do. It's like a religion, like my God is right, your God is wrong, something like that. Which means that a lot of people click videos whenever I package them like that. But if you look beneath the surface, I think the message is different. What do you think?
I think I actually agree with you. I did see some comments calling your videos rage bait, but then once I watched the video, I do see like a deeper message. You're packaging it up in a way that presents it so that people actually ask that question. But in your videos, I feel like you're being honest and just presenting the topic for what it is. I think you're right. If I, as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, look at a video called Exposing BJJ, then I have like this gut reaction to it. I'm like, no, this is just like a stupid, this guy does karate, he doesn't even grapple. Like, and now he's making this stupid video saying that BJJ doesn't work, but you're missing the point. Right?
Yeah, and because the funny thing is, I could equally, like super easily make a video titled Exposing Karate, because there's so much karate that doesn't work. If you're just being honest with what you do and don't like identify your whole personality and life around it, I think people get too attached to what they do. Because, I mean, you're a human being, not a human doing, right? You can do many things and you can switch and do something else if you want to. So you are not what you do. I think that separation is important.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you tie your identity to something that could be temporary, then what do you do when you lose that thing?
Exactly. And a lot of people who start a martial art, they haven't researched every martial art on the planet before deciding and coming to a logical conclusion that this is the perfect and best martial art. Usually they just end up at the school or the gym that was just closest to their home. So it's by luck or chance that they're practicing one thing. What are the odds that it's going to be the best and perfect martial art for you? I don't know.
Right, and it's very natural that you develop a deep bond with the martial art you practice, right? Especially if it's the very first martial art that you encounter.
Exactly, because you're pushing yourself to the limits, hopefully, with like-minded people. And it becomes more than just a sport. It becomes a way of life. And again, it becomes part of your identity.
Right, and then people like yourself, you've done so many different martial arts. So I could see now how you have a different perspective compared to having only done one martial art.
Yeah, but the way I view it, and I'm known as the karate nerd because that's my passion. That's what I started with. We're in my family's dojo. Like my parents taught me since I was a kid. But when I started traveling and learning about different styles of karate and stuff, I realized that it's like a mountain, and there are many paths up to the top of the mountain. But the cool thing is that we all start, like every path is very far from the other paths at the bottom of the mountain. But at the top, they all come together. They become closer and closer together because it's all the same ultimately. It's all based on the human body, our inherent strengths and weaknesses. And there's only so many ways an arm can bend, right? No matter what label you put on it, no matter what you're wearing, no matter what terminology you like to use, the better you get at it, the more similar everything is.
Right. There's more similarities that bring all the martial arts together rather than there are differences.
Exactly. But if you're a low-level or beginner practitioner, you won't see that because everything looks so different. And the cool thing is when you get to the top of that mountain, there's another mountain right there with a different martial art, a different path. And sometimes you have to climb that mountain to get perspective, to see your mountain in a new light. Because otherwise you're like that.
Tunnel vision. That's very poetic. And now that you've done so many martial arts and you see all the similarities and you see the differences and all that kind of stuff, do you think there is actually one complete martial art?
I would have to say the complete martial art is the one that fits every criteria that you're looking for when it comes to your needs, your goals, your vision for approaching the martial arts. So what's perfect for one person might not be perfect for another. There are as many perfect martial arts as there are people.
So you mentioned that just like there's sport BJJ and BJJ tailored for self-defense, do we find anything like that in karate?
Yeah, exactly. Because there's more than one kind of karate. Like what I did back in the days, after I graduated, high school and stuff, I went to Okinawa, the birthplace of karate, to live there and study the different styles. And I realized that there's the traditional side, but there's also the modern sports karate side, which is what you see in tournaments. And most people think that's all there is. So they don't realize that karate has throws and joint locks and chokes and takedowns and even weapons and pressure points and all of this crazy old school stuff that we don't really see today. And that's the stuff that I think more people should study because there's much more under the surface than what most people realize.
That's very interesting because you mentioned that there's throws in karate as well. Yeah. So as part of your karate practice, you've learned to grapple?
Well, not grappling the way you see it. One of my masters in Okinawa, his name is Nakamoto Masahiro Sensei. He's also a researcher. And he discovered that in the old Shuri castle, the king's castle, in the courtyard, they practiced a form of grappling and ground fighting. Now, this art has basically died out in Okinawa today, so I had to go back to China to rediscover it. They call it chi-jutsu in Japanese. Chi is ground. Jutsu is a practical skill. And so many of these grappling techniques are meant to be used against self-defense attacks. So it's not like how to reverse an armbar or an ankle lock or something. It's different because it's against punches and kicks. And like imagine I'm lying down because it's the land of no chairs, right? They sit on the ground, they sleep on the ground and so on, especially back in the days. And if you're standing up, how would you attack me? If you see an enemy lying down, you'd probably just soccer kick me in the face, right? Something like that, exactly. So from this position, go ahead. They would go like that, bam, and then go a heel kick, bam, like that. So they do all kinds of throws and strikes and kind of self-defense based grappling on the ground, but usually against an attacker who's standing up.
Yeah.
So I had to relearn some of these things that had been lost because, again, I'm a karate nerd. I like to go deep and learn stuff that most people don't even know anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we should test grappling against striking to see how they function together. Do you know anybody who could help me with that?
You know what? That almost sounds like MMA. And if you didn't know, my brother is a professional fighter. He was in both UFC and Bellator. And if anybody knows about striking and grappling, it's him. Maybe you guys should have a talk.
Interesting.
But first, so this is the baseball bat I broke. But I was thinking, instead of playing baseball with it, I could sign it and give it away to one of your subscribers. And you could sign it too.
Okay.
As a fun giveaway. And you know what? Let me add some Japanese.
Let's do it.
Okay? Let's go.
And what does that mean?
Budo, martial arts.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll send this bat to one random person. Thank you so much, Jesse.
Thank you so much.
you
It
for
was my
doing this.
pleasure and honor, and I hope all of you enjoyed that.
It was mine as well. Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you.
See you guys in the next one.
All right, cool. All right, good stuff.
Hold on, I feel ridiculous. Hold on.
Don't stop.
Like my Kia. Holy shit. You're like, watch your fingers.
I started laughing. God damn it.
Right, so what are you doing?
I was warming up.
I'm here in Sweden. Yeah, you can't really see it out there. And I'm about to go film with Jesse Enkamp. This is absurd. Grateful to be here. Jesse is like an OG YouTuber. I just showed up to Sweden. Bought some this dorky shirt. He said he bought some baseball bats for us to break. So, okay. Yeah, and we're gonna do it. His brother's gonna be there, Oliver Enkamp.
Finish up the interview by me signing this.
Yeah, perfect.
Watch your fingers.
What the f?
You keep treating me so cruel, Chevrolet. Take me down to San Jose.
To see how they function together. Do you know anybody who could help me with that?
Sensei Seth?